Just to summarize what you're saying, you're basically saying that in your view, we can see an expansion of the travel and tourism industry when we make the shift to hydrogen.
Yes.
The hydrogen is a liberator for people to be able to travel and to mix more internationally.
Yes.
That's a very optimistic assessment of the future.
Well, it is, but first of all, the laws of nature say you can do it. Secondly, when you make comparisons with the set piece direction at the moment of using a sustainable aviation fuel, then you're still carrying a heavy weight. You've still got to find the source, the consistent source of something the engines can burn safely wherever they pick it up around the world. And no doubt we can overcome those problems, but the real prize is going to hydrogen. If it were only aviation, the case would be weakened, but the truckers have to do it, because for them to survive and for us to survive with food brought in from afar and other goods and services, they must be able to match the productivity of the diesel engine, but we cannot. Nature will not allow us to do that if we can't get very close to zero emissions, and liquid hydrogen is the means by which that will be done. We can't have our renewables unless we have energy storage, and that energy storage has to be transportable to a new market like fuel cell powered motor cars, fuel cell powered aircraft that will do many of the roles now carried out by trains, taxis, buses on the surface, but which require an awful expenditure and a lot of work laying down safe pathways for the surface-bound traffic to use.
So, John, you seem to be arguing, I think you are arguing, that we can quite quickly potentially move to under 4,000 kilometers, which is most of aviation, in fact, fueled by hydrogen, and that the longer haul option is there as well.
The longer haul is certainly there, but it's a bit more distant, because it does mean that we're now only really getting the advantage of the energy content of the fuel. We're not getting the bigger weight saving that comes with reducing the range. So it means we have to move to what is commonly known as a blended wing body. Many people, I think, will have seen pictures of Maverick from Airbus flying as models. Many people will have seen the publicity information from Airbus, who are very forward thinking in these matters. Yeah. And are good people really to go forward with. But at the moment, they do need some persuading. You know, in talking with the seniors, I do find there's still a commitment to the, what I call the soft option of going for sustainable aviation fuel, which doesn't give you all the benefits that the world really needs, because we really have got to increase our social and our mutual trust coherence across the globe. And we're not going to do that entirely by technology, but my goodness me, technology makes it possible to reach many more people. So if it's data flow, money flow, easy. But mutual trust, that's all about, do I know you, do I trust you, and so on. We know what's best. Why don't we get after it? And why don't we do it properly and thoroughly and now? Unless anybody can find a reason why you cannot, and as I understand the rules of nature, cannot is not a word that applies here. You can. So,
John, just to kind of come to a conclusion, I'm feeling optimistic because of what you've said. And it seems to me that the travel and tourism industry that I work with should also be optimistic, because what you're saying is if they change the fuel, there is no reason why we can't continue to grow the sector.
Yes.
And that would obviously be good for humanity, in my view. I think you and I share that
Yes.
perspective. Where do you think the real engines of change for this are going to come from?
I actually feel that it's going to be the likes of the independent carriers, you know, the EasyJet and people in that category and that position in the market,